So one of our goals in bringing the arts tools into the classroom is to conquer the fear of children leaving their seats. So we want to give you first a set of tools for helping to allow your students to leave their seats in the classroom. With that, the first thing we're going to do is I'm not going to talk anymore with you sitting looking at me, because I know from children that they're looking at my clothes, they're thinking about something else, saying, where's she from? You know, she's, you know, so your head is full of other things. You're not hearing what I said. Half of you did not hear that. So why bother? Let's shake it up a little bit. I want to invite you to participate in some active learning, because the tools and the gifts that the arts bring are that they are active. Now, active does not mean out of control. Active does not mean chaos. It can get there, but we want to help you so that doesn't happen. So the first tool is to have a home base. Your home base will be that chair, which you're going to thankfully leave in just another second. But you're going to take all your materials and place them under your chair. So would you do that now? Pens, pencils, papers, purses, cups, toolkits. That's your chair. There's your stuff. It's not going anywhere, but you are. The second tool that you'll be becoming acquainted with this year is the use of sound signals. I'll tell you, best investment you can ever make is a couple of interesting sound tools. You can, you know, go shopping like at New Year's and Halloween. There's a lot of good cheap stuff out there. This is a sound that we'll be using, and this. Okay, do you hear the difference? Okay, those will be my tools. The third tool that I'm going to show is a signal for silence. When my hand is up, and if you see my hand up, you raise your hand. Let's try that. So you didn't hear me, did you? Okay, so there's your hand is up. When your hand is up, there's no talking. Let's try it. Perfect. Okay, here's how it's going to work. We're going to go for a walk. When you hear this sound, you are going to walk within this room. Lots of room in the back, and you're going to walk and walk and walk until you hear this. When you hear that, may I borrow you for a minute, Monique? Monique and I are walking. So we're walking, Monique. Monique's walking, I'm walking. We're walking, walking. When we hear this, Monique and I are going to look and we'll say, oh, there's somebody, and we're going to go back to back. The only rule is when Monique and I are back to back, you'll be back to back with someone. There's no talking. You got it? Let's go for a walk. Join me in the back. And we're walking and stretching and enjoying being out of our seats. And we can walk between the rows. Let's give yourself some space to enjoy the walk. Now turning all the other way. Go in another direction. And we are walking. Oh, thank God we're out of those chairs. Wave your hand if you don't have a partner. If you don't have a partner, over here, we need a partner here, right here, back to back right here. Another one, short person, here's a partner, finding partners, waving. Now, you know what I love about this exercise, and I do this with children all the time. When they're back to back, they're not talking. Hey! And they can hear my voice. This is also a really important thing for children to learn to listen, even when they can't see me, perhaps. So you're listening. You're about to have the first exercise, which will be a conversation between you and the person who has your back. Now, I'm going to give you a topic that you're going to share, and you will have 1 minute to tell your new best friend about that, and then they will have 1 minute, and you will listen. You will know 2 minutes is up, and it'll go faster than you think, so person that goes first, don't hog the time. When you hear this, then that will be your sign to walk again, and we'll do another round. Okay, here's your topic. I'd like you to think back to when you were a very young child, let's say before you were 5 years old. What was the neighborhood where you grew up? Where was that neighborhood? And what was it like to be a child in your neighborhood? turn and meet your new friend. 2 minutes to tell about your neighborhood. Let's find a new place in the room for your walk. So we're not all wadded up and we're walking. And you're looking for someone new. You're lurking by someone new. Hey. Wave your hand if you're lost. Wave your hand. Someone will find you. We are an even number of people unless someone left the room. Very nice, very nice. You see how with just a little tool, we can go from an impossibly loud room to a silent room so that your students are ready again to listen. Now, I could ask my students to talk about the characters in a story we had just read. Or I could ask my students to show me a particular math problem and the two partners could work it out and we could show the answer. We can do anything when we're in this exercise. But what I want you to do is to think again about that place you were as a very young child. And I ask children to do this too. I say, think back to when you were littler and younger than you even are now. What was something that you pretended to be when you were pretending to be something other than yourself? Now remember, this is when you were a child, not as an adult applying for a job. Pretending to be something that you were not. Was it a character? Was it an animal? Was it a person? Was it something you wanted to be when you grew up, but a character you pretended to be? When you turn around and meet your new best friend, you're going to tell them about that character. Walking and someone new. Now, sometimes when I'm working with students, I want to just hear their voices about the topics that we're talking about. And rather than call on students, I could just say, if I ask a question, I'd like to hear voices in the room, one at a time, about the question that I ask. So for example, if I were to ask, think back to the last person who was your back-to-back friend. They told you about a character that they pretended to be. I'd like you to call out, being the only voice in the room, the name of that character. Now, that takes ensemble skills. If I call out a character and Allison calls out at the same time, I'll back off so that Allison's voice can be heard. And then when I hear my only voice, I'll call out. Nice and loud. What was the character?
A nurse.
A nurse. We had a nurse. So when it's your turn, you'll know when it is because no one else is talking.
Dancer.
Keep going.
Teacher. Singer.
Good.
Mom.
Caveman.
Teacher.
Caveman. That narrows it down. Maybe, yeah.
G.I. Joe. Speed racer.
Hula dancer.
Barbie.
Secret agent. Mermaid. Gladiator. Housewife. Teacher.
Spider-Man.
Wonder Woman.
Hotel clerk.
Carpenter.
Princess.
Pluto.
Any others? Oh, Charlie's Angels, yes. Teacher, a lot of teachers. Two. Hairdresser.
Singer.
Singer. One more. What was that? We heard 3. We should hear 3. Yeah. And go for a walk. You didn't get to meet that person, we're just walking.